warning.
Say this from me heart on a rum chat. Here we contact, get your gunshot. Make it sun dark and the ground black. We plant calm but I never agriculture. I know the eagle in the tongue, got the eagle when young people that are the vulture. Said them evil never the vulture. They coulda run pan diesel that a fee punja. Away the blood clot. Do some gun back. Away the blood clot. Do some gun back. Easy we coulda squeegee inna the Honda. Sleepy gunshot beat him inna him slumber. Greedy fi make them dopey a the younger. Glad say me nah pre when me the younger. That no mean say no pussy can try. Pussy try run up and give with them life. Can't see penalty give with 3 points. This one West boy you must see one die. Away the blood clot. Do some gun back. Away the blood clot. Do some gun back. Don't stop war with we. You will see, you'll see. My dark them are real. Better agree. Don't stop war with we. You will see, you'll see. My dark them are real. Better agree.
Yeah. I want West in I place once more, yeah, easy. You wanna know where I come from? You wanna know where I come from? I believe. You wanna know where I come from? I don't pan the Middle East, but y'all out the West one get the kid piece. Me step over to pretty Christine. A big broad smile and giggling teeth. Have a brand new 4-5 pretty crisp clean. Me deal with the chica press pretty pristine. Them say them bad but we no intrigue. If you this now your top 10 killing increase. And we no join both sides. One West are the best you fi know boy. You put a S on your chest when the chrome pint. Every bone a broke when left lone tribe. Like a force right boy if you know your size. Don't see me on the street and a force fight. You get ratchet knife in your throat pipe. Man who make your chop flesh or your ghost rise. Give up the ghost. Make it boat wife. Y'all shut up, bend over, pan to a pint. Fuck you, make you get wet like a boat ride. If you hold tight, y'all, me a hold tight. Alright, no later, then more time. Me have things to do, but got more fight. Lucky where the nanny, y'all do bright. Then we shoot the bumbo clad, you grind. That's where me come from. I don't pan the Middle East, but y'all out the West one get the kid piece. Me step over to pretty Christine. A big broad smile and giggling teeth. Have a brand new 4-5 pretty crisp clean. We deal with the chica press pretty pristine. Them say them bad but we no intrigue. If you this now you top 10. Yeah, them too bad, I just mouth them up, I just slogan. You coulda big and tough like Hulk Hogan. You get your own a bag, you get total. Send your soul to God, your best no God. Do all fucking clip of your own that. No come set, no chop of your own bat. I go get sent off, we run postal. Get a PO box. She say me handsome, she want hold me cocky at ransom. She want hood fi broke, she want yam some. She say breed me, give me that one son, boy. We have shotgun, we have Remington, we have Magnum. So if a beef you want, you can have some. Anything we come turn in a phantom. How where we come from? I don't want the Middle East, but y'all out the West one get the kid piece. Me step over to pretty Christine. A big broad smile and giggling teeth. Have a brand new 4-5 pretty crisp clean. We deal with the trigger press pretty pristine. Them say them bad but we no intrigue. If you this now you talk 10 killing increase. Increase, 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 increase. You know. Yeah, Z. I one was in a building. I know when we come through, just hide the gal them and hide the liquor.
Yeah. One West. Some people live the good life. Them and them steak and mummy pot dry. But they tell me I gotta die for happy, for have it. Millions, house and cars and bike. I got the pussy them don't want see we have a 1,000 tall up rifle. I got them want fi see na fi we on. You know give we food fi we yam. And when the youth use brilliance, fuck up the road like Gideon. You start call man billion. The bad boy, true me said don't rush me a bad fly. And true me no got church, me no baptize. Don't tell me no heaven in a that sky when some people live the good life. Them and them steak and mummy pot dry. But they tell me I gotta die, be happy. No joy for the black boy. The ghetto youth, them a fuck up the road and tough up the code dust, no go below. See double 9 man a shuffle the board. And if you no know then, you no fi know. Matic in a waist, we no go lucky mode. This one West boy, get up your load. Who no know when, me no shoes and me no food and no clothes. We no do the posing, we no export. Us a wait for the right time for we explode. Hustle man a hustle charge, you will make do, and we can't wait for the next show. Some people live the good life. Them and them steak and mummy pot dry. Come and tell me I gotta die, be happy. No joy for the black boy. Millions, house and cars and bike. I got the pussy them don't see we have a 1,000 tall up rifle. I got them want fi see na fi we on. You know give we food fi we yam. And when the youth get original, fuck up the road like Gideon. You start call man criminal. In killer them a search for them heaven on earth. Man a fi a fight with the devil from birth. Poverty a time for your Lego man shirt. Your man a fi stay blessed all when the land curse. All when the land curse. I know the GLE them want see we in a one earth. The bad boy, true me said don't rush me a bad fly. And true me no got church, me no baptize. Don't tell me no heaven in a that sky when some people live the good life. Them and them steak and mummy pot dry. But they tell me I gotta die, be happy. No joy for the black boy.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West.
Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Brakatam to all the brothers, Yahweh Shemar Lathan Bahashim, Yahweh Shai to all the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer 500 Barak Yalla with the I.S.U.P.K. We're stands for the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started at 1 West 105th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander John YAHANNA, you understand? And this is a part 2 of last week's class, where we had the honor of having Officer 5000 Malak. And today, who will join us briefly is Officer 5000 Kazakai Mad from DC, you understand? The topic of the class again is All We Got. And this is a Brotherhood class, of course, just like every Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live from I.S.U.P.K. Montreal, I.S.U.P.K. Toronto, IET and U.P.K. La Pura Neta on YouTube, and I.S.U.P.K. Montreal, Canada, and U.P.K. La Pura Neta as well on Facebook. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment. I see my brother Shalak Yalla in the chat. Shalom Yabashan Shabrakata, water for tuning in. You understand? And in the times that we're in, we're seeing, listen, a lot of things are going on across the globe, right? And if you paid attention to last week's class with Officer Malak, you would see that right now, you know, of course we know that people control our algorithm, right? The devil, the Bible speaks of, who is the oppressor. But, you know, until Officer Kazak Ahmad reaches in, right? Let's do a quick, you know, reminder of what we spoke about last week, right? If you look at the algorithm on YouTube, on Facebook, you're going to see a lot of quote unquote prepping channels or prepping content, you know, or homesteading, right? How to preserve food, you know, what should we do in case of a blackout, World War III is popping up, the market is crashing, invest in gold, invest in silver. What should you do? Well, just like last week, just like today, just like every single I.S.U.P.K classes online, right? This is the best prepping channel you will ever have in your life. You have all the prepping content and material that you will ever find in your life. And tonight, because we're running short on time, last week we will give you the solution, the main thing, the most important thing for you to be ready in these last days. That's what you will find out. You understand? That's what you will find out. And just shout out to Officer Kazaka Math from Detroit as well. But joining us tonight will be Officer 5000 Kazak Ahmad from DC. But no sweat, shout out to both of these amazing brothers, right? But again, what is the point of seeing all these, you know, homesteading and preparedness content that you're seeing right now on social media and all platforms? The point is they're getting you, or they're trying to get you mentally prepared for the days that are coming. Whether it's Trump, you know, who about to enact a nationwide martial law, and don't think about the United States only. Look at France. France is burning down, and really, if you look at the climate in Europe in general, this whole society is collapsing. They're giving in to, for lack of better words, immigrants, especially Muslim immigrants in Europe, right? Canada is, let me see if I can find this clip. This is a clip in Canada where white militias are preparing, just like in the US, you know, private gym owners, MMA fighters of Caucasian complexion are training every day. Training every day for what? They want to make sure that they're able to rebuild society after what is coming, because everybody knows something big is about to happen. Everybody knows. You know what? You want to know who knew that first? Commanding General YAHANNA and all the men he raised. Since 1969, we've been telling you what's going on. We've been telling you about Russia going to invade Ukraine. We've been telling you about the impending famine that's about to happen just now and falling right before your eyes. We told you that we're going to a World War III. Imagine that. 1969. It was like, what, roughly 21 years after World War II ended? We're already talking about World War III. People may have thought that it's never going to happen. It's impossible. Even before I came in the truth, right? I was speaking to my younger brother, right? My physical younger brother. And I was telling him, yo, everything, we're about to go in World War III. And even after COVID, listen, everybody after COVID thought everything was going to go back to normal. What's the first thing that happened after COVID? Russia started a Soviet reunion. And it's been going downhill ever since. So is it really all just make-believe? Is the Bible actually a fairy tale? Are all the prophecies not true, despite the fact that everything that is prophesied in the Bible is unfolding right before our eyes? Imagine that in 2025, we're still hoping to see a flying car, as opposed to waiting for Christ to crack the sky open. In 2025, we're still talking about green Martians and gray people coming in flying saucers. And we think it's normal. But when we talk about the deliverance of so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans who have been slaves for the past 400 or 500 years, for over 1,000 years, really, at the hand of all these nations, this is make-believe. It's like slaves can never be free. You rather believe in some gray Martian from Space Jam coming from the sky to abduct you than to believe that God is black, Christ is black. There's a black army that is coming to save blacks, Latinos, and natives. You rather believe some cartoon than as opposed to just slaves being free. This is the day and age we're living in, right? But let's get you prepared for what's going on. We're going to go back to a couple clips that we were not able to play last week, right? On how these devils are so fearful to the days that are coming. Why? Because the devil himself, right? We're going to go to the timestamp. The devil himself is saying, well, what's ready to happen? They're going to kill each other. Like, they're going to unalive each other and steal from each other. They have no brotherhood to be able to survive these harsh and perilous days that are upon us, which is what this class is all about. The Brotherhood Class, every Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today's topic is the same as last week. We are all we got. When I say we, I'm talking about so-called blacks, Latinos, and natives. We are all we got. And nobody has our back. If we don't have each other's back, who will protect us? Who will defend us? Who will provide? We're about to see a real life purge. Y'all never watched the movie The Purge? Go watch the movie from the first to the last. Who cares? Watch the movie The Purge. I just rewatched the movie Greenland. If you see how people are panicking in the movie Greenland, what's the devil's name again? He's Scottish. Gerald Butler. Watch the movie Greenland. They're about to put the second part of the movie, in a month, on January 9th or 6th. Listen, this movie is amazing because you see white people panicking like never before. And there's a scene in the movie, right? When you come in the truth, you watch movies on a different perspective. There's a scene in the movie. These devils are panicking and the family is separated. The main character, Gerald Butler, is separated from his wife and his child, right? You might have to do a whole class on the movie, as a matter of fact. That's crazy. The point is, at some point before they get reunited, a Mexican family runs into the wife just running into the street. And they ask her, yo, she just got rejected help from her fellow devil people. The Mexican pull up like, do you need help? Do you need us to drop you off somewhere? Why is it so heavy? Because the whole, what is it? I don't want to say scenery, but the whole atmosphere of what's going on in the movie, they would call it a apocalyptic scene, the end of the world, the Armageddon, right? This whole fallout of society is happening because of what they did to Mexicans. It's happening because of what they did to Haitians. It's happening because they fed our babies, newborn babies, skinned alive, fed to alligators. At the end of the day, they almost got the alligators extinct too. But I ain't gonna be too long-winded. We have Officer 50, Officer Lackey. I apologize, sir. Officer Kazakai joining us from DC. What's going on, sir? Shalom, Yabash, and Shabbat.
Shalom, mighty man. Yahabash, Shabbat. Salaki for me coming in a little bit late. Baraki out at the water, brother, for giving me the honor, brother, to be on here with you. You understand? It's an excellent thing for brothers to dwell together, especially in doing the work of the Lord. And Baraki Allah, you're somebody that I've watched come into the school. And since you've been in the school, you've made it your mission to do the work of the Lord. And that's something that we all can relate to. You understand? And we're brothers. You understand? We are family because of our love for the truth. You understand? And I thank the Lord for brothers like you because you keep the zeal, you understand, alive. You understand? You keep the zeal alive and seeing how hard you work. So the water to you for having me on, mighty man, the water.
And the bars, the water for the kind words, but really the water to you, the water to Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh for commending on YAHANNA and all the men above us. Right. You understand? Even coming to Jew, I watch you and all the men above me, and this is who sets the example. This is who sets the bar for brothers like me and other brothers under me as well. I don't want Salak.
That's right. That's right. Damn right. Let me ask you a question so I can like and share it too. What page are we broadcasting from on Facebook?
Currently, We're live on YouTube on I.S.U.P.K Montreal, Toronto, IET, and UPK La Pura Neta. And on Facebook, I.S.U.P.K Montreal, Canada, and UPK La Pura Neta as well.
Okay, let me share those. Give me 1 second. Also, too, if y'all can hear us loud and clear, just type a 1 in the chat. If y'all can hear us loud and clear, please just type a 1 in the chat. Let's see who all we got up in here with us. Barack Yala, you can go ahead and you can continue what you was doing, bro. Let me share these real quick. I.S.U.P.K Montreal.
And as basically, you understand, as we were waiting for Officer Kazakaima, who just joined us, we're about to play a clip out of one, right? Where the devil is breaking down how they're not ready for what's going to happen. We failed to play that clip last week with Officer Malak because we're short on time, but the devil's going to break down how they're not ready for what's going to happen because they have no brotherhood. They're ready to live a real life purge. And I was making reference to another movie that I recommend for brothers and sisters to watch, right? Because it shows really how the devils are about to act.
Right.
All heathens, but especially devils. Because that white woman in the movie Greenland got rejected help from her fellow devil people.
That's right.
And Mexicans came to help her to reunite her family, asking her where she want to be dropped out, does she need help? It was so heavy because this whole atmosphere in that movie, apocalyptic scene or whatever, is because of what white people did to Mexicans. Because of what these devils did to the Haitians. Because Trump is saying Puerto Rico is a piece of floating trash in the Caribbean island. Because the devils made so that Dominicans and Haitians hate each other to the core. This is why America, Canada, France, Spain, Portugal, all these places where these devils are in rulership will burn down to the ground till not even 1% of ash remains.
That's right, brother. That's right. And right, so let me give a shout out to the sister Barack Wadnar. Shalak Ya'ala, I see you. You understand? I.S.U.P.K Montreal, Toronto, Memphis, La Pura Neta. You understand? If you haven't done so too, everybody like and share the stream. Let's push this truth. You understand? Brother, for the longest time, this may sound ignorant, Barack Ya'ala, I did not know black people lived in Canada up until about high school. You understand? Because again, it's not something that was taught about how Canada was involved in the slave trade, how Canada had slaves that were involved in the slave trade, and they definitely did not tell us about the boarding schools, the schools where they were torturing our Native American brothers and sisters. You understand? We grew up believing that Canada was where the slaves went to go get free. We grew up believing that Canada was the land of freedom for us, because all we were taught is black people would go and take the Underground Railroad and escape to Canada, and their lives were better once they got to Canada. And then I got older and realized Canada is just like the United States. It's ran by devils that hate God's people. You understand? The UK is just like the US. It's ran by devils that hate God's people. And you'll find this pattern all over the nation. Mexico, Martinique, Jamaica, Trinidad, Brazil. You understand? Wherever we are hated by the people that are there because we are God's chosen people. You understand? Shalak Ya'ala said, me either, until about 5 years ago. I found out the tribe of Benjamin was heavy in Canada along with Gad. I didn't even know Gad was in Canada, brother, until coming into the truth. And it sounds ignorant, but it's just one of those things where if you're not taught, it's not in your mind to even consider or think about these things. You understand? But thank the Lord for the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding general.
Right.
You understand? For waking us up and waking up simple Judites like myself, you understand, whose focus was only on my immediate area. You understand? Whose focus was on those who were in front of me. Now my focus is on my brothers that are on these small islands, that are in these foreign countries, that are in some God-forsaken jungle across the earth. My focus now is on the people that Christ came to save. And that's the lost sheep, the scattered sheep of the house of Israel. Now, Barack, I was wondering, are you able to pull up the clip you're mentioning and play it for everybody to see it?
Khan, I was about to share it right here. I just wanted to let you finish your point. Before I play, I just wanted to mention that one. You're not just to you're not to blame at all, because in Canada, right? Because I've been to school in Canada, right? They do not teach about slavery. What they teach about is the alliance between Gadites, who are so-called natives, and the British and the French. If there was such an alliance, why don't we see a so-called mix of both communities when I walk outside? Because I tell you where the Gadites live in Montreal, on the bridges, on crack. You understand? I had a whole battle on a viral video that's on I.S.U.P.K in Montreal, and how the government of Canada is legally obligated to provide clean water to the natives. They're not doing that. What they're doing is building more pipelines that is poisoning the water even more till this day. But that's of course that's a topic for another time. But just know that we're ignorant to the fact that of the plight of our brothers and sisters across the nation. Why? Because it's really simple. Oh, oppress the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. Salaki. But
you damn right. You damn right, brother. And that's the truth. You understand? If I may, let me do the introduction. Just out of habit. I know you probably did it, but just out of habit. You know, I don't feel right unless I do it.
Okay, absolutely.
Israel, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah Baraka Thumb to the brothers, Yahweh Shemar Alathan Bahashim, Yahweh Shah to the sisters. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. We are not affiliated with no other Israelite group or Christian organization, and we teach the truth according to the Bible. And what is the truth? The truth is that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are God's chosen people, and the white man is the devil. You understand? So like it, the water.
Damn right, sir. Let me share my screen. These 2 clips is gonna be short, right? I have the timestamp already. This is the first one.
Benign examples, but we've never really faced a major national disaster where help wasn't coming, and we're not living hand to mouth. Most of us, we have the luxury of having all of these amenities, so we've never really had to experience real hardship and do it ourselves, because if we didn't do it ourselves, we would die, like in a lot of those places. So what is your biggest concern? Should
now pause it right there, please, Baraki. Now, quite often you'll find out that let me not say it like that. When he says we haven't done it ourselves, and what did he say? I just lost in my mind, brother. My mind went somewhere else. Run it back from the beginning, please. I'm gonna stop it as soon as I hear it.
Kawakan.
I would. You can't buy building supplies.
Most of us, we have the luxury of having all of these amenities, so we've never really had to experience real hardship and do it ourselves, because if we didn't do it ourselves, we would die, like in a lot of those places.
Stop right there. He said we never had the luxury of doing it ourselves and experiencing hardships. I don't know if he's a brother or not. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Baraki Alam, but whether he's a brother or he's a heathen, he's speaking from the perspective of our oppressor. He's not speaking from the perspective of the Native Americans, because the Native Americans have done it for themselves. They have had it hard. They have died. He's not speaking from the perspective of black people and Hispanics, because blacks and Hispanics have done it by themselves. We have had it hard. We have died. He's speaking from the perspective of a white man. You understand? Whether that white man be French in Canada or English in America, you understand, or Spanish in Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic, he's speaking for the perspective of our oppressor. And they speak they speak from a privilege, a point of privilege. You understand? If you look at our history in America and wherever we are on the earth, we are the only people who have been the closest to self-sufficient. You understand? We are the only people that have truly pulled ourselves up, because we've never had help. We've never had sincere, true help for our people. We've always faced hardships. We've always had to do it on our own, against governments, against militias, against terrorist organizations, against government organizations. We've always had to do it on our own and fight against powers much greater than us. So I don't know what he's talking about here when he says we've never had, you know, all these amenities and things like that. Brother, they did a documentary on the starvation in Mississippi in the 1950s. In the 1950s, they did a documentary on how black people in the Mississippi Delta, where my grandfather is from, my pop's father is from the Mississippi Delta, you understand, Cleveland, Mississippi. And they did a documentary on how black people in the Mississippi Delta were living like they were in a third world country, starving. While you were showing us commercials of these skinny Africans, these emaciated Africans with big stomachs, and for 10 cents a day, you can feed a starving African. They never showed you that that's how black people were living in the South, in the United States in modern times, because nobody has helped us. Not only has nobody helped us, we have had everybody be against us. That's the part that nobody wants to talk about. Not only have we had to do it on our own, we've had to do it on our own against all odds, against everybody. And somehow we're still here. You know why? Because we're God's chosen people. And when he speaks on we would die off, he's speaking from the white man's perspective. You white people, you're not as strong as you believe you are. You're not as tough. You're not as strong. You're not as smart. You're not as humane as you believe you are. And you think that without God's people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that you could survive. You would die without us. History has proven it. I know we don't have to go into the history of the Native Americans. You understand? They literally taught you how to survive the goddamn winter, how to eat, how to bathe. You would die without us. So that perspective of we would die without certain things, nigga, that's not us. We've been dying. We've been surviving. We've been on our own. Salaka Baraki, you keep playing it. And it chime in too, of course, whenever, please.
What is your biggest concern?
And Salaka, just to let you know, that devil has been in Esau's military as well, which is the point of view that he's going to bring out on how would we as a society, for lack of better words, would be able to face what's coming, you know, as far as World War III or the famine or not.
So the one with the who's the keep calm shirt, he's a devil.
The melanated one, I don't know if he's a devil or not.
Okay. I know for sure. It looks like this one when the maroon is a devil, but okay, we're not sure if he's a devil. Well, we'll leave it up in the air. But here's what I can tell you: he's speaking from the perspective of a white man. You understand? That is not our perspective. If
right.
Here's the thing too. I ain't gonna drag it. Baraki, I'm gonna play the video. Here's the beauty of us. If you would leave us the hell alone, we would survive. If you would just leave us, see, the problem is black people, Hispanics, Native Americans, we've never had a true opportunity to be left alone, meaning you've never helped us. You understand? That's fine. But you've always harmed us. You've always hurt us. You've always been against us. And if we can get a true opportunity to be left alone, we would thrive. Yeah. The problem is, you know that. And you could never leave us alone because you know we would thrive, we would surpass you, and we would show the world that we're better than you, white people. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are better than you. And that's why you have made it your mission as a people to never leave us alone, to always mind our business, to always be in our affairs, to burn down our towns, to destroy our cities, to pollute our water in the air, and to harm our babies. You have done so many things to make sure that we never rise up, because you know we are the only people, if just left alone, without help or without harm, we would thrive. That's not the case for you, though, Mr. White Man. You've been given all the help. Your people have been given all of the conveniences and luxuries of this society. So you don't know what it's like to survive. You don't know what it's like to feel pain. You don't know what it's like to feel hunger and poverty and suffering and oppression. So if you didn't have the help that you had, if you didn't have food stamps and welfare, white people, you would die. You would die, not us. Please keep reading. I mean, play the video, please. Salaki, mighty man.
Kind of what can I say? One.
Should an event of those proportions happen here, how do you think we would respond if a city was just like a major city was just blacked out for several weeks on end? How do you think we would fare as a nation dealing with those issues?
Yeah, that's an easy answer, and it's terribly, and a lot of people will die. We are living hand to mouth, but don't realize it. We're living hand to mouth secondhand because a lot of people, so we've got our 3-day supply. A lot of people go to the store like every day, you know, in a lot of communities.
Skip the dishes. I mean, or I don't know what you guys have there, but as I was saying, that window is getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
Don't even go to the grocery store anymore.
But we're also buying that food on credit.
Right.
So how many people, because that's, I mean, a lot of places you can't even use cash anymore, right? They've got the checkout stands that are, well, this is card only, you know, or you can wait in that line for cash. I'll just use the card, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people get into the trap of using that card and carrying a balance on that credit card.
I have a question for you.
Start right there. Start right there. Again, a white man perspective. Brother, do you know there are some of us who don't even get approved for credit cards? That might be a foreign concept to him. You understand? That might be a foreign concept to white people. You complaining about how your people use credit cards and are racking up debt. There are some of us who are too bad in society, whose credit is too terrible, who's too far gone that we don't even get approved for credit cards. We don't even get approved. Again, he's speaking from a perspective of privilege and luxury. White people's problems are not our problems. You understand? They're not our problems. Black, Hispanic, and Native American problems, however, is everybody's problems. Because what's happening to us will happen to everybody else. And what you'll find out is you white people, you vote for leaders, presidents, governors, politicians that hate blacks and Hispanics simply because you know that that's the only way that you can feel like you're successful in the midst of your failure. So you would vote for a politician who has no qualifications, a politician who has no history, a politician that's corrupt, that's a liar, simply because they promise you one thing, and it's hatred for us. Here's the part that you fail to realize. You vote for somebody that's promising to starve us when after we starve, you're starving next. That's the part you don't ever factor in. You're so hell-bent on harming us and choosing leaders that harm us that it's not going to just harm us. It's going to harm you. You understand? And we've seen that with the food stamps. Black people, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we know what it's like to be without food stamps, to have food stamps, to be without, to be denied, to have a little bit. We know what that's like. White people, a lot of people didn't know white people were the biggest recipients of welfare because you're so. Please go ahead.
So like I didn't want to cut you off, but it's heavy what you're saying because the first thing he said, right, responding to the melanated cat, is that how do you see us acting in a such cataclysmic event? He said, well, sad to say, but that's the reality of it. A lot of people are going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're, like you said, we're used to not having food stamps, welfare being approved, and not for a credit card. Having nothing, we're used to that for the past 400,000 or 500,000 years. But white people have never really faced the struggle. Well, they faced like a recession. We were in the recession before the recession.
That's right.
So much so that, you know, was it Tulsa? They bombed us.
That's right.
And that's just Tulsa. You know, it's not like we were not thriving outside of America. They just like they destroyed black cities in America, they did the same in Canada.
Right.
You know, Africville in Nova Scotia. You understand? And a lot of Judites came over here and they made the Judites run away. You know, they destroying right now where Sister Barakwana is Little Jamaica. They're gentrifying Little Jamaica. We already have nothing in Toronto. Little Jamaica is already being, you know, gentrified, but they have to destroy it even further. You know, so it's not like we're not ready to have nothing. Again, the topic of the class is we got. We were always, the only thing we had is always brotherhood. Even not being in the truth, being in the world, being lost because we disobeyed the Most High, we realized that we really don't need the oppressor. We were, I don't want to say thriving during slavery, we were still surviving.
Yeah.
During the Black Plague, during Europe, it's not like we were not on the scene. We were not the one. We're talking about all these casualties. They're not taking, you know, they're not factoring us in. Salakia.
Baraki Allah, what you're saying is the point. You understand? It's the point of this all. The reason why we've been able to survive is because when times get hard, and you'll see this, times get hard for Black people, we end up having to rely on what we've only always had, us. White people, you have never had a chance to foster that type of brotherhood. It's not in you to have brotherhood. I know it may seem like you have brotherhood because of how well y'all come together to be racist against us, but make no mistake about it. Joining together to hurt somebody else is not brotherhood. Because the moment you eliminate the thing you're trying to hurt, your bond falls apart. See, here's the beauty of us in here. Because we're not in here to hurt anybody, we have a bond amongst each other that lasts. You understand? White people, you only relate with each other because you agree on hurting us. The moment you remove us from the equation, you see what white people do. World War I, World War II, the Civil War, the Holocaust, the Bosnia and Czech and Herzegovina, you understand, conflict. You understand? You see what white people do when they don't have a common enemy to hurt. They don't have brotherhood. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because we're God's people, we have a form of brotherhood. Now, of course, our form of brotherhood is nothing in the world because the things that we do to each other is despicable in the world. And we learn those things from the white man. But if you were to just leave us alone, take away the white man's influence, take away him harming us and him helping us. And what you'll find out is, brother, we foster brotherhood. We'll start to love each other again. And Black Wall Street is the proof. You can't build something like that without brotherhood. You can't from scratch build a thriving town, economy, infrastructure, hospitals, airports. You cannot build those things from scratch coming out of slavery unless we all have an understanding of we are all we have. Black people, if Hispanics and Native Americans, if we remove the influence of white people, you would see that we are all we have. You understand? And we will act accordingly like we've done in history. History has shown that that's what we do. You understand? Let's get some more on the video, please. Unless he got to the point, or is it?
He's getting it right there, out of one.
Okay, that's no sweat.
Put in kind of a new driveway. We needed to expand it a little bit, and so I'm like, how are we going to get some cash from this guy? We couldn't even figure out how we were going to do it on that particular day. It was a weekend, could go to the bank, you know, and I realized in that moment, man, how far I've come from not paying attention in my own auto up. But the question for that is when. It might take some time for the BARTA system to develop, right? And so everybody says, well, I'm just going to stock alcohol and bullets because that's going to be my trade. Well, that's fine, but when there's still cash around, nobody's going to want your alcohol and bullets.
Right.
And for a certain amount of time, there's going to be plenty of alcohol and it's going to be freely flowing and there's going to be plenty of bullets and they're going to be shot at you probably if you're hoarding stuff.
Salakia, that's one of the main points basically, right? If I could pull up a precept real quick, out of one, right? Let me share my screen right here to bring it back to last week, right? This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 19, where it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. If you go up to verse 16, it's talking about the civil war, where there shall be sedition among men, and nobody will give a damn about the police, the president, nothing. We seen that live. Trump got shot twice. Kirk got down like a deer. They were rioting in Paris after unaliving some little Arab kid. They were ramming cars into the mayor's office. 100,000 hooligans in the UK were fighting what? 1,000 police officers? Listen, we're seeing that live right now. They just shot the potential president of Colombia a couple months ago. And you think the Bible is still make-believe? What this devil is talking about is exactly what you see on the movie The Purge. Exactly what you see in the movie, what I was making reference to, which I recommend to watch, Greenland. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. This devil just said, when the barter system kicks in, whenever it kicks in, we don't know, it might take some time. You got to hoard up some stuff. And guess what? Just like in The Walking Dead, or all these movies, or survivalist movies, or whatever the case is, right? You see, people are going to see you have some stuff. They're not going to have brotherhood. He's saying they're not ready. A lot of people will die because of lack of brotherhood. We're not ready. And so, like I said, somewhere in the clip, he says, as opposed to these third world countries where they have some type of sense of, tight-knit community, in the Western world, of course, speaking from a devil's perspective, they're not used to that. They don't say hi to each other as neighbors. They just mind their own business. They're in their closed doors. They're in their own apartments. They don't have that sense of, brotherly community, as opposed to us. Even though it got destroyed over time, it was natural to us. You say hi to the grown black man on the street or whatnot. Listen, I was walking down the block when I was younger. Men on the block, Benjamin told me, yo, lift your head up. Don't walk with your head down. Lift your head up. Be proud. It was not a something that was not how can you say it again? Damn, I forgot. Uncommon for you to get beat by the neighbor because they see you messing around. Then they bring it to your mom like, yeah, you know what? He was throwing rocks at cars. I had to smack him around for you. Your mom would not throw attention. They would say, I appreciate. Thank you for setting them straight. It's natural for us to have a brotherly tight community, but they're not ready for that. They're expecting to start unaliving each other and thieving from each other just for need to survive. So, like, if I could finish the verse out of one.
Please, go ahead, priest.
Kawakan, sir. But shall destroy their houses with the sword, which is exactly what the devil is referring to. You understand? They're not ready to split a bag of rice among 10 people. I cook amazing rice and peas and dumplings with amazing food. I cook for 20 people, even if I cook for myself. They're not ready for that. They're not ready to share a bag of chips. I remember in the world, you could share a bag of chips between 5 brothers. They're not ready for that. And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Great tribulation and horrific times are upon us right now, knocking at our doors. They're here right now, but worse times are coming, just like Christ said. Times like never seen before and that we will never see again.
That's right.
And we're in these times. We are in these biblical times that Christ was prophesying in Matthew chapter 24. We're here right now. Don't think the biblical time because brothers are wearing sandals, walking around with swords, and scrolls as a manuscript. Our manuscript today is the Bible, the 1611 King James Version, the most accurate version of the Dead Sea Scrolls. This is the biblical times where, we were sent to gather the lost sheep of the 12th chapter of Israel, to let them know what's happening. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. But before peace or rest, as prophesied in Isaiah 14:3, before that happens, there will be World War III. There will be civil war. There will be a famine. There will be earthquakes. There will be hurricanes devastating our places of captivity, which we think is our home. You understand? And we're not ready for what's coming. Why? Because we try to live as best as we can like the white man. And he has no brotherhood even on his best day. Imagine on his worst day. So like I said, I don't want to be too long-winded out.
No, you're absolutely correct, brother. Okay. Even to the point of how white people understand their culture is not community-based. It's not community-oriented. That's an indictment on them. And it's the reason why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have the problems that we have. When you look in and you see the breakdown of our communities, the breakdown of our neighborhoods, the breakdown of our families, you are literally witnessing Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans taking on the culture of our oppressor. It's white culture to not have a sense of community. It's white culture to not have a sense of neighborhood and speaking to your neighbors. That's not who we are as a people, like Officer Barakiala was just saying. That's not us. When you see a breakdown of those things, and here's the part that is so evil, and this comes from the Christian church. Instead of us placing the blame and knowing where to place the blame when we see these things amongst us, we always turn on each other and blame ourselves. And the worst thing you can do is to blame the victim. We are the victims in the entire equation. You understand? We should be blaming the white man. And then right underneath him, his workers, you Christian pastors. The problem is we're taught to not do that. They literally tell us to not blame the white man. You understand? They literally tell us to keep going to church, to keep believing in this white religion. And the whole time, the victim never gets justice. When we need justice, that's the first step to healing. We need justice because we have been taught things that are destructive to us. We have been taught a culture that is not a culture worth keeping or having. And the proof of it is, this white man is even telling you, if things were to go bad, if the power were to go out tomorrow, there would be utter chaos. I don't know if this white man knows this. There are some of us who grew up without power on the regular. There were some of us, brother, who grew up having to light a damn candle and having a candle in your room and knowing you had to take that candle and sit it on the bathroom counter and getting a pot and grabbing a pot and filling it up in the sink and then putting it on the stove and heating that. Of course, it's a gas stove. It's not electric because there's no electricity because you couldn't afford the goddamn bill. And so you heating up the pot of water with your candle sitting right on the counter. And then you take your candle, and you understand, and you take your pot of water and you head to the bathroom and you pour your hot water and you repeat the process until you have a tub full of hot water. Esau doesn't understand what that's right, Shalaki Allah. He doesn't understand what struggle is. He doesn't understand at all what it's like to go without. And that's why when you see those movies of the end days and people going crazy, it's because he has enjoyed life so much, brother. White people enjoy life so much that you getting equality is oppression to them. That's how privileged and deliciously they have lived on the earth. That black people just said, we want the right to vote. And that's oppression to white people. Black people didn't say we want the right to kill white people. That's not what black people was advocating for in the civil rights movement. They weren't advocating for the right to go kill black people for slavery. Excuse me, to go kill white people for slavery. They weren't advocating for the right to do to white people what was done to them. Brother, black people in the civil rights movement were advocating for civil rights, for white people to be civil. And brother, that's oppression to white people because white people, you don't know what real oppression is. You've never experienced it. You've never had anybody be racist to you. You've never had opportunities taken from you. You've never experienced violence because of your race. You don't know what that's like. And so when times actually do get hard, it's fully expected for your people to completely lose their goddamn minds. And that's please, mighty man.
You don't understand how heavy it is. First of all, give a hand to Officer Kazak Ahmad. You understand? That's number one. Right. Another thing is this, right? When you really look at the broader picture of what's going on in the white mind, because just like you say, they're not used to living without electricity. They're gonna say, well, maybe the Eastern Europeans, they were not always used to that. Mm-hmm. They had a time where they were great, right? Or for lack of better words, not struggling like they may seem their struggle over there, right?
Right.
They never live in actual chaos, which is what they're getting ready to live.
That's right.
They never lived like niggas, spics, and savages. And that's what they fear the most.
Right.
You know, and really what we just brought out, you know, brotherhood is in the Bible. Why do they have to fear what's coming upon them, or the lack of brotherhood, if brotherhood is in the Bible they claim, you know, to believe in?
Right.
That's the thing. In their mind, they're gonna be like, wait a minute, the planet is gonna be in the same state that Haiti is in right now. They're not ready for that, because then they're on the different side of Haiti. They're not on the poorest side of Haiti that's destroyed. They're about to be worried even more than the Haitians are worried of their lives right now. They're about to feel like they're living in the garrisons of Jamaica. They're about to think that they have to worry more than our Ashraf brothers are worried about their lives in the favelas in Brazil. That's
Right.
what they fear the most, because they have never experienced such, you know, feeling of being distraught, even in the Dark Ages.
Right.
They're gonna say what? The Irish were slaves? The Irish, not only were they never slaves, they were indentured workers. They got benefits. They got 7 years of work and then benefits.
Right.
And they starve what? Potatoes. You can't eat fries and then you cry about it. We could not even eat sugarcane to keep us working in the fields. And if we did, I don't even want to go about the atrocity that happened to us, but their fear of being in the same state of the poorest, most distraught Black, Hispanic, or Native, is that's going to happen to them. And they know it's going to happen. They don't know how to go about it. If I could bring out one more precept out of one real quick.
Please.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born in adversity. Back to the topic, we're all we got. The thing is that we will fail our community following after these oppressors, just like every single time we followed after them, time after time. Why? Because they have no brotherhood. We will keep robbing each other as we're robbing each other today. Why are we robbing each other today? Because we emulate the white gangsters. We emulate the Jewish mafia, the Italian mafia, the Russian mob. The Jamaicans call themselves Don Corleone, Don this. Dons are Italian. You understand? They painted a bad picture of Scarface, who's an Italian actor, and a lot of these gangsters from Cuba are Italian. They're not Manasseh. You understand? That's the problem. When we emulate white people, we have no brotherhood. We destroy ourselves. We destroy our community. But the Bible says what? The Bible, which is our culture, our blueprint, says this, that a friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born in adversity. You know when we really experience brotherhood? In these plantations. And the moment that we wanted to feel like master, what happened? We turned to house Negroes and we snitched on Harriet Tubman. And we snitch on all the Negroes that try to save the babies from being fed to alligators while they were just out of their mother's womb. That's what happened. We destroyed each other even in the fields. Why? Because we wanted to be white. Y'all go read the book. I gifted a copy to John Hyman. It's called Black Skin and White Mask. The title said it all. We put a white mask. We see white people as the epitome of success. We want to be like them. We want to marry a white woman. Why do you think Martin Luther King tried to have sex with these white women? He tried to have the white man's trophy. That's it. He wanted to be white. Then he realized, I can't get rid of who I am. You could bleach yourself, straighten your hair as much as you want. You cannot change your lineage, your ancestors, or your seed coming after you. Sister's the same. Even though the seed is off the father, put all the blonde wig you want and bleach your skin. Guess what? You're still a sister. They still see you in their mind. They see you as a sexual object. They don't even see you as a human. It doesn't matter how white you want to be. You will fail if you keep wanting to be like white people. Why? Because we're all we got. We as so-called Black, Latino, and Native Americans, not we as the human race. Where's the proof? Officer Kazar just brought it out. They have nobody else to kill. They turn on each other. That's really it. They were done. Listen, Officer Malak brought it out, other one, right? MAGA supporters are turning against each other.
That's right.
Imagine that. They're almost done. They're almost done deporting all the Mexicans and the Venezuelans. They have nobody to deport. They're gonna turn on each other. Who shot Charlie Kirk? It was not a black, Hispanic, or Native man. They are the pinnacle of their empire. They don't know who to colonize no more.
Right.
That's why they're turning on each other. You have nothing but your people. And we're going to get to that around the end of the class, where we're going to give you the blueprint on how to start learning how to love each other. Where to come. Where's the class? It's right here. It's in every city where the I.S.U.P.K is under Commanding General YAHANNA. In every country where the I.S.U.P.K is under Commanding General YAHANNA. Worldwide, everywhere our people needs us. You understand? We're facing adversity every day. We have nothing but brotherhood. That's the blueprint. That's why Christ told the disciples, that's the blueprint. You think he just said, go and seek those who only follow the law? What about those who don't know the law? How do they even know they're doing wrong? They will never know if you don't teach them. And once they're taught that they have to abandon their oppressor, which at the time was the Romans, they have to abandon Donald Trump, who's our modern day Pharaoh. He said, cancel MLK Day. We're going to celebrate my birthday. If Trump is not Pharaoh, I don't know who is. If this is not Egypt, I don't know where it's at. It's sure not in the Grand Canyon, not one.
That's right.
It's sure not in Antarctica. You understand? The point is we all we got. And these devils know that they're not ready to live remotely as we live. Destroyed every day, worrying about the lights, about the food on our plate. They're not ready, because they will turn on each other like they're turning on each other right now while they're still in heaven and they have the luxury of spending thousands of dollars on a credit card. You understand? Salak Yadawan. Well, Officer Kazak is dealing what he's dealing. You understand? These devils are not ready to face the struggle of Blacks, Latinos, and Natives. That's the point. Just like Officer Kazak Ahmad said, you know, what you want to do is, even to give you a perspective of how they're ready to act, go watch these movies. Just to see how white people act in these movies, they're going to act like that in real life. It's not even worse. Watch The Purge. That's one of my favorite movies. Watch Greenland. You see white people distraught, and then the moment the Mexicans helped that white woman, like, well, damn. After all they did, and you really don't see how powerful that message is until you come into the truth. But I'm gonna leave it right here. Salak Yadawan.
Damn right. And if you could give me Acts chapter 4, verse 33, and I'm gonna show you what Black Hispanic American culture looks like. I'm gonna show you how turning on the people that you're supposed to be the closest with when things go bad is white culture. Turning, and you'll see this, brother. This happens in marriages. Many of you are not with the first person you've been with, or many of you have had failed marriages because of this. Many of you don't talk to your children or don't talk to your parents because of this. Many of you have lost long-time friendships because of this attribute. This attribute of when adversity comes, you turn on the very people that you should be locked in with. That's the white man's attribute. A lot of people never looked at, most people have not been taught to view adversity like this. Adversity is just another opportunity and occasion to become closer to the people that are closest to you. Like, again, that's a mind-blowing concept for many people. Many people, the moment problems and adversity comes up, that's their opportunity to turn on the people closest to them. When in reality, adversity is opportunity for us to become closer, for our bond to become stronger. And the proof of that is we have the records. We have the records in the Bible of how we're supposed to be and what we've done in the past. You turn on those closest to you when problems arise because you have learned from our oppressor. You have taken on his ways. That's not our ways. Let's read our ways according to the Bible. Please, mighty man.
Sir. This is the book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 33. And with great power gave the apostles witness of the resurrection of the Lord Yahushua.
Keep reading.
And great grace was upon them all.
Right. So now we're reading about these brothers, these disciples. The word disciple means student. You understand? These students of Christ. You understand? They were students that learned from this great teacher, this great man, this radical revolutionary named Jesus Christ, or in the Hebrew, Yahushua. You understand? Mashiach. These disciples, these students of Christ, they seen, you understand, the power and the glory that Christ exhibited when he was on the earth and passed down to the men above them. Right. And because of that, they were inspired to do great things. Like Christ said, there are some of you that will do mightier things than me, greater things than me. That's what Christ said. You understand? Keep reading. Let's go to the next one. We're going down to verse 35.
Acts chapter 4, verse 34. Neither was there any among them that lacked.
Neither was there any among them that lacked. Here's the part that white people don't understand, because it's not your culture. You're not going to understand it. When you serve God, when you have brotherhood, there's nobody amongst you that will go without. Like again, because we live in such an evil nation, in our minds, it's normal for there to be poor people. It's normal for there to be homeless people. It's normal for there to be beggars on the streets, people dying outside when it's too cold outside. Brother, that breaks my heart when the weather drops and it gets real cold. And my mind always goes to, I wonder what the people that are homeless are doing right now. My mind always goes there because they don't have the luxury of having a roof over their head and warmth. That's not normal. That's not normal to live in a society, to live in a nation, you understand, where your people are starving, are going without. The Bible is telling us right here, these disciples, none of them lacked, meaning they all had the things that they were supposed to have. None of them was hungry. None of them went without a house, you understand, without shelter. None of them lacked anything. Keep reading.
Karawakan. For as many as were possessors of lands or houses sold them.
Keep reading.
Karawakan, and brought the prices of the things that were sold.
Yeah, see, this is for all you cats that are rich, that have been fortunate in this oppressive society to acquire wealth and possessions. Those possessions that you acquire, that wealth that you've attained, is not for you and your family. It's for your goddamn nation. And that's why, as a people, we have not been able to rise up. Not because of the poor, because of the rich of you. You rich blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, you are white people in blackface. You are white people in blackface. You have the spirit of our oppressor. The Bible just said, in times past, these men of God took their houses, took their lands, took their possessions, and they sold them. They sold them, brother. Keep reading. That's like it. They sold them and brought the prices of the things that were sold, meaning they sold their houses, their lands, their prized possessions, and they took that money. Keep reading.
Karawakan, Salakia, and brought the prices of the things that were sold. Acts chapter 4, verse 35, and laid them down at the apostles' feet.
Keep reading.
Kawakan, and distribution was made unto every man according as he had need.
This is a society that is ran by brotherhood. Could you imagine if America ran by this one scripture? America, you claim to love God. You claim God bless America, and this is a God-fearing nation, Christian nation. America, you could benefit white people, and I ain't talking about black people, Hispanics, Native Americans, because this is talking to us anyway. White people, you could benefit if you would just follow this one scripture. This one scripture, you could benefit, but it's not in you. In order to be ahead in America, in order to rise up in this place, you have to be greedy. You have to be selfish. You have to be grimy. You have to be a criminal. American society, white society, awards all of the attributes the Bible condemns. This society awards and champions the characteristics that Christ could not stand. And that's why America is not built on brotherhood. It's not built on love. It's not built on coming together. It's built on evil, on crime, on sin, deception. We read in the Bible, brother, these men of God, these Israelites came together, the rich and the poor. And the ones that were rich, they took their houses, their lands, and their prized possessions, and they sold them. They sold them and took the money and laid the money at the feet of the men of God, at the feet of the priests, the apostles. And then the apostles distributed everything to everyone as they needed it. Brother, this right here is the epitome of Black, Hispanic, and Native American culture, righteously. Nobody starves when you do this. Nobody is homeless when you do this. Nobody goes without when you do this. This is the way the Bible prescribed it to be. But instead, our celebrities, our rich men, they would hold everything that they have to make sure that they're good. That's not biblical. You understand? That's not biblical at all. It's the oppressor's culture to get something and to hoard it for yourself. When the Bible says everything that you get is not for you, it's for your nation, it's for your people's sake. And again, that's a foreign concept because, okay, I'll break it down for you. You know what amazes me, Barack Allen, and you a Benjamite. And this is what always amazes me about Benjamites and Levites. I love the way Benjamites and Levites that are from the actual islands that grew up there, they come over here, and brother, they send money back to their family in the island. They send food and barrels and money back to the island. Brother, that to me is so hardcore. Because for us Judites, brother, and I'm not saying that one tribe has more brotherhood, because we all have our ups and downs. We are all destroyed. But to see that level of selflessness amongst Benjamites and Levites, you understand, Jamaicans, Trinidadians, Haitians, Grenadians, Bahamians, Bajans, to see how they come here and they work and they don't forget about the poverty that they came from. They don't forget about the family that they have on the islands. Brother, that is what this is all about. Everything that you get, everything that you acquire, is not for you, dummy. You follow the white man and his destructive culture, and we've acquired things, and yet we have nothing. We have nothing because we don't understand the point of it all is for us all to thrive. And so now what you'll find out is some of us have something, the rich of us have things, and now LeBron James has millions of dollars and he still is called a nigger. He still can get his house spray painted with nigger. You know why? Because LeBron James does not have a nation. You understand? Oprah Winfrey is a billionaire and she can still go to the store and be followed like a broke Black woman. Why? Because Oprah Winfrey doesn't have a nation. We need a nation. And this is how you build a nation. Selflessness. Shalom, all of y'all. I see you. This is how you build a nation. Selflessness. The understanding that there are things bigger than you. There are things in life greater than you. Everything that you have is for your nation. Every talent, every skill, every ability, it's for your people. And that's what this is all about. Salaki, priest, go ahead.
Yeah, that was the end of the verse. I don't want, and give a hand to Officer Kazaka one more time, understand, because really being selfless is our culture. You understand? And throughout the Bible, you can find, because the Bible's on a white man's book. We're going to make a whole class about that. If the Bible was a white man's book, why would they talk about white people's demise? This is a topic for another day, but the point is, like Officer Kazaka was bringing out, without selflessness, what's the opposite of selflessness? Selfishness. Where do we get that from? Our oppressor. Our oppressor's nature is to be so selfish that he never has enough. Commander General YAHANNA brought that out. He's a sore winner. Like, you ever heard about a sore loser? Imagine being a sore winner. It's not enough to get the medal, to get the trophy. You need everything. It's not enough to push the Native Americans on reservation. You need to push them even further. In Montreal, there was a whole riot. It's I think the Oka crisis out of one. It was in the early 90s. I was like an hour away from that reservation. You know what sparked this? White people needed to get more land for their golf course. So what they did, they started impeding on what they call a holy cemetery for the I forgot which tribe of native is over there. They said, yo, this is our sacred land. You just want to make your golf course bigger? They said yes. And it started damn near a war, literally a war. That's what it started. It's not enough to take the whole land. It's not enough to pollute the water. Now you claim you're giving them bottles of water and you still building pipelines, and then you tell them they complain too much. I'm gonna pull up a precept real quick to show you the selfish nature of our oppressor. But guess what? I want real quick, right? People who say, they should not complain. We provide them clean water, whatnot. I spoke personally to a sister from the Dene tribe, a Dene nation from British Columbia. There is a form in Canada. It's a real form. I have a copy of it. I'm gonna put it out. There's a real form. If as a native you've been affected by dirty water on the reservation, yeah, you can fill out the form to get compensation. But that's just adding insult to injury. Why? I'm gonna break it down. Not only was there a deadline for the form, right? You could only get the check once. So if you got it once, you can't get it again. It's just over $100. That's it. If you drink dirty water in Canada, you're affected on the res, you have to fill out a form with a deadline, which you could only get once, about like $100, even less than, that's not even 3 times less than welfare. It's even less than that. It's barely $120 Canadian. That's what, $80 US? And that's the compensation they gave to the native once a lifetime if they were affected by the dirty water. That's the nature of our oppressor. That's the real. I still have a copy of the form. I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna share it everywhere so y'all could see that this is not make believe. This is true from the Canadian government itself. But let me show the nature of our oppressor, if I could, out of one real quick. This is the book of Obadiah. Salakia. The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? When someone comes into your house, they come with a purpose. They want to thief. I don't know, your TV. You have something of value that they want. You would think maybe they come in to get whatever they want and then they leave, right? That's not the oppressor. It was not enough for the oppressor to steal the whole land. Now, after stealing the land from the indigenous people of Canada and the Americas and pushing them on reservations, what they do, they want the land of the reservation that they push the natives on. It was not enough to have us in slavery in Martinique and Guadeloupe. It was not enough. Abolishing slavery was not enough. The loss of labor, they had to compensate for that. So therefore, they paid reparations to the slave masters, not to the slaves, not to those who actually performed the labor. It was not enough to the point that they still own the monopoly of Martinique. The richest family out of one is a straight descendant of slave master. They own all the infrastructures. What are we left with? We're left with the highest rate of prostate cancer in the world after poisoning us for working in the banana fields. That's what we're left with. and we're told that we complain too much. But this is the nature of the oppressor. He never has enough. How are you going to seek brotherhood or expect the people to be in charge of people that never has enough? It's like a real quick other one, because we brought it up with Officer Malak last week, right? Just Jeff Bezos alone has what, $182 billion US? There's 8.2 billion people on the face of the earth, roughly. He has enough to give literally 1 billion to each breathing, living person on the earth and still be a billionaire. That's only 1 billion. How come there's homeless white people? Forget about us. They don't even have brotherhood for themselves. What makes you think you could, put your life in their hands? They don't even value their own people's lives, much less their own personally. And this is the nature of our oppressors. It's like Officer Kazak Ahmad just brought out. We can't have a thriving nation without living in a selfless way. The proof is, look at white people. Some of them are not thriving. Why? Because they're the most selfish, monstrous people on the face of the earth.
That's right.
It's like, if I could just finish the verse out of one.
Absolutely, mighty man.
If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how dark cut off, would they not have stolen if they had enough? This is the thing. Our oppressor never has enough. And he's the biggest thief on the face of the earth. If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? If you knew that the Bible is your culture, if you knew the law, don't you know that if you had, I forgot what was the word in English again, but if you had like a grapevine, right? Some fruit or whatever fruit tree, some fall on the side of the road, are you just going to pick up every tree to make sure that you take every single, are you going to make sure you pick up every single fruit so that you don't waste them? We have to leave some for the homeless. We have to leave some for those in need. Why are you going to scrape up? You eat some bread and you leave some breadcrumbs. You're going to just make sure you eat even the breadcrumbs, not leave anything for the homeless, for the needy. You understand? This is the problem. White people don't even leave nothing for the needy. They see poor white people and they destroy poor white people's homeless encampments in the dead of winter. Somehow they still blame us though, even though they're the problem. You understand? The natives fed them and they slaughtered them. They pushed them on reservation and they still want more land. Even if they would have left the less fertile piece of land as a reservation for the natives, and they still would want that desertic land, that land that cannot grow anything, they would still want it. That's the nature of our oppressor. You cannot put your faith into someone that thinks you don't even give a damn about himself. How do you know that? Smoking kills. You think he would stop selling cigarettes that would kill people? No, he's making a profit off of it and killing himself while doing it. Salakis.
No sweat, mighty man. Where we at? Once you have to get the other clip.
Karawakan, I have it right here.
Please, let's play that one.
Say is don't wait for the tipping point. Set a date on a calendar. Even better, set 3 dates. Say is don't wait for the tipping point, because too many people were waiting for a tipping point. And what I would say is don't wait for a tipping point. Set a date on a calendar. Even better, set 3 dates on a calendar. An early date to check in, a mid date where you're kind of wondering whether or not you should do this, and then a final date where you're like, come hell or high water, we're doing it. Yeah. Right. And that's kind of what we have on our calendar too. We are leaving the United States in 5 to 7 years. Like that's our deadline date. And I was telling you earlier how we're in a growth phase of our business where it's growing so rapidly that we're a little bit limited in what we can do. So our date actually changed because of the business opportunities that exist with our business. So now a big part of what we're working on now is growing our business in a way where we can manage it from abroad, right? So we know that come 2030, we're leaving. Not because we're waiting for some sort of tipping point, but because between 2030 and 2035, there will be a tipping point.
Salaka.
See,
I don't think he's a devil at all. Salaka, go ahead. I don't want.
Yeah, I think he. This one might be a brother. I watched a couple of his videos as well. I believe he's supposed to be an ex-CIA ex-CIA intelligence officers or something along those lines. And okay, this is why it's very important that you listen to the priests and prophets of the Lord in the UPK, because here you have a man who used to work for the United States government, and even he's telling you, this place is finished. This place is finished. They are already preparing. There's an entire group of devils that are preparing to just completely leave the United States as a whole, because they understand the signs. Anyone that studies political science, that studies history, you understand, you can see at the current condition of America and the things that are happening now in the government and society, America is on the decline. It will never be great again. You are a foolish white person, and you are an idiot Hispanic, Native American, or a black person if you believe that America could ever be great again. It's not. It was just a nice phrase to get you stupid people to elect a snake politician. America can't be great again. America has destroyed itself. America has destroyed every opportunity it has of being great again. And here's the most important reason why America could never be great again. Because white people, you refuse to acknowledge the source of America's greatness. You refuse to acknowledge the thing that made America great in the first place. God's people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And if you want to repeat success, you have to repeat the process. And you white people, you don't want to repeat the process. You understand? You don't want to admit that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the key ingredient to the entire process to making you a great nation. You have gotten beside yourself, and you have deceived yourselves in your pride and arrogance into believing that your people are the reason that America was great. America was, first of all, let's get this clear. America was never great for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. In the time period where America was great for you devils is because of us. Whenever you ask a white person, when was America great? And think of the time period that they give you. When you ask them, what time period was America great? And brother, you'll look at the things that they champion for making America great. It's all tied to us. It's all tied to our achievements, our contributions, our sacrifices and service to this whore called America. You white people, you are not as smart as your forefathers because you refuse to acknowledge the key ingredient to success for America: blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And that's the chief reason why you could never be great again, because that would mean you have to acknowledge that we're better than you. You have to acknowledge that we're special, we're chosen, we're God's chosen people. And you can't do that. You cannot do that, and that's okay. But your lack, your inability to tell the truth is why you'll never see America rise.
Damn right.
On the contrary, we're going to watch America fall. We're going to watch America burn, not at our hands, at the hands of first you devils, and then Christ is coming to finish it off. You understand? Christ is coming to finish it off because you have crimes to pay for. You have crimes to pay for. That's why they're trying to leave America, because they know there's a day of reckoning coming. I hate to break it to you, white people. There's no escaping this judgment that's coming. This judgment is coming to the earth. It's coming to the earth. White people in Russia are going to pay. White people in the UK. White people in South Africa. White people in Canada. White people that's buying up all the beachfront property in the islands, in the Bahamas and Martinique and St. Kitts, St. Thomas and Jamaica, and you buying up all the beautiful beachfront property and then putting up fences and no trespassing signs and private property signs. Yeah, you have a day of reckoning to pay. It's coming. It's coming, and it has to happen because your culture is the destruction of the earth. Your culture is just terrible. You understand? If I could, I want to get a precept. Get me, please get me 2 Peter 2:10. You understand? This is describing our oppressor. And as you hear this cat, I believe he's a brother, but I'm not sure. I'm not all the way sure. As you hear this cat describe how he's telling people to leave America and to get out of America, make no mistake about it. There's a group of white people who are never going to leave America, who believe that why should I leave my country? And instead of leaving America, they would rather burn America down. There's a group of white people, which is the majority, brother. They are not planning on leaving. These are the ones that voted for Donald Trump because they don't plan on leaving. So they want to make America great again. These are the white people that stormed the Capitol, that tried to overthrow the United States government, the domestic terrorists. This scripture right here describes them. Please read what you have, mighty man.
Karawakan is the book of 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 10. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness.
Chiefly them that walk after the flesh and the lust of uncleanness. This is your oppressors. Everything about your culture, everything about white culture, American culture, is to indulge after what you want, to walk after your flesh. White people, you are so diabolical. Your oppressors have made my people the face of drugs and getting high. When I've been around you devils, I've been in the white man's military. You understand? You white people taught me how to get high at a different level than I've ever seen in the hood, than I've ever seen in the projects amongst blacks and Hispanics. You white people get high like it's eating a bowl of cereal. It's like it's normal. But then when you get in the public, you allow your people to lie and put us as the face of drugs, the face of getting high, the face of criminality. When everything that you are projecting about us is really who you are. You are people that walk after the flesh. You are the people that partake in the unclean things, that are unclean. Keep reading.
Karawakan. And despise government.
And despise government. You patriots, you claim to love America. You don't love America. White people, you've been lying to yourself. There is no such thing as a white patriot, and I can prove it. You want to know if someone loves anything, see how they feel about it the moment it no longer serves them. See how they feel about it the moment it's no longer beneficial for them. That's how you can determine someone's love. If you continue to be loyal and to love something that no longer is beneficial to you, then your love and loyalty is true. White people, the moment America ceases to serve you and be beneficial to you, you try to overthrow it. You try to destroy it. You try to burn it down. You are talking about leaving it because you don't really love this country. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Of thee I sing, land where my fathers died, land where the pilgrims pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. That's bullshit. You don't believe that. It's a beautiful song if you want to hypnotize children. You don't live by that. You don't believe that. Because your love and loyalty for America stops the moment America ceases to be beneficial for you. You know who does love America? You know who does have undying, wavering loyalty and love for this country? You want to know who the real patriots are? The people who this nation never served, the people who this nation never benefited, and they still gave their love, their loyalty, their undying sacrifice to this country. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We are the true patriots to our detriment, to our own detriment. And that's why God is going to destroy America, because he wants that love, that loyalty, and that unwavering sacrifice for him. And instead, we follow the white man into giving that to him unjustly. They don't deserve it. America doesn't deserve it. We white people, you're not the patriots. You don't deserve to call yourself a patriot. We are the patriots. We are the ones who love this place. We are the ones who are loyal to this place. And it's about time that we take our love from this place. You oppressors, you hate government. The only reason why white people claim to back the blue is because the blue hurts the black and the brown. That's the only reason why. You only back the blue when the blue hurts black and brown. The moment the blue actually enforces the law, and the moment the blue polices you, oh, you harmed the blue. You hate the blue. All of a sudden now the blue is a tyrannical organization. Yeah, you loved the police when the police was oppressing black and Hispanic neighborhoods. But when the police was stopping you from storming the Capitol and overthrowing the government, yeah, you hate the police then. You pepper spray the police with bear mace. You take, brother, you go watch that video footage of what happened January 6th. And it was the Lord exposing the white man's hypocrisy for the world to see. Because those were the very people who would get online and lie that they love the police so much. And we stand behind the police. And we love the blue. We back the blue. That you go out and you'll see, brother, that they buy bumper stickers of not a regular American flag. Anybody ever seen that flag before? There's a flag that white people who claim to back the blue, they buy this flag where it's black and gray. It's an American flag that's black and gray, and then there's one blue line in the middle of the flag. And it's to show your support for the blue, for law enforcement. You got the bumper stickers, you got the flag with the blue strip, but then the moment law enforcement actually enforces the law equally and stops you from being a criminal, all of a sudden you despise government. It's because you never liked government in the first place. You only love government. You only love law and order when it's hurting us. But you hate true law. You hate true order, and you despise government. Keep reading.
Karawakan. Presumptuous are they, self-willed.
Keep reading.
They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities.
This is you oppressors. This is you oppressors, presumptuous, self-willed, not afraid to speak evil of dignities. You understand? You're not afraid to open your mouth against the powers that be. It's a shameful thing for you to criticize your leader. I don't know if you white people understand that. It is a shameful thing for you to criticize your own leader. But America has a culture, brother, that if your party is not in office, you should criticize the leader. You created a system that is not even logical. To create a two-party system is stupid as hell. The Bible says a house divided cannot stand. A house divided against itself cannot stand. You think it's normal for when a Democrat president gets in office for Republicans to badmouth that Democrat president. You think it's normal for when a Republican president gets in office, Democrats badmouth that Republican president. You think that's normal to badmouth politicians, the leaders of your nation, because of their political affiliation. That's not normal. That is a shameful thing. Brother Barack, could you imagine hearing a brother badmouth Commander General YAHANNA in here? Never. Could you imagine a brother that claims to be in here, claims to love the truth, claims to be a soldier, a One West UPK soldier, and he opened his mouth to badmouth our leader, Commander General YAHANNA? Could you even fathom that?
Sir. We can't even think about it.
Can't even think about it because it's not normal. It's not normal. It's not the culture that you need to build a strong nation. You white people, on the other hand, that's your culture. It's normal. You have news networks dedicated to trashing your leaders, like it's normal. It's not normal. It is absolutely destructive, and it's your culture. It's your culture to have no regard and to speak evil of dignities and dignitaries, the men in power, because you are the people that God said is profane, that is evil above all evil, the border of wickedness. That's who you are. And we have looked to you on how to live when we should have never done that. We should have looked at you and your people and your society, and we should have known what not to do. And we should have said, we can't trust on their way of life and their religion and their system. We have to find out what is our original way of life, our belief, our system. And guess what? There are men that the Lord put in the earth, the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA since 1969, that is here to teach you those things, to teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans your way of life, your culture, your God, because theirs will fail, and they failed. And that's why we're destroyed. That's why we don't have the brotherhood we're supposed to have, because we're being like them. We live like them, and their way of life is the end of the world. Our way of life is the beginning of it that followeth. Please, brother.
So that was the end of the verse. The water out of one, because you understand. And so just to bring out, touch on what something that also Kazak Ahmad brought out, like these devils and those who follow after them, right? They know that this empire is coming to an end. It is inevitable. They say history repeats itself. We have to learn from it to prevent it from happening. Well, here's a term that I know for a fact a lot of brothers and sisters may be familiar with visually when they see it happening, but they don't know that there's a word for it, or there's a term for it, right? I'm not sure if you're familiar with that term, other one. It's called the Seneca Cliff. I'm gonna share the definition of it, right? Damn right. Shout out to Commander Johanna, of course.
That's right.
Only leader for so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Damn right, Shalak. But I'm gonna share this. What is the Seneca Cliff? Let me share my screen. The Seneca Cliff or Seneca effect describes how systems like economies, civilizations, or resources grow slowly but decline rapidly. Echoing Roman philosopher Seneca saying, fortune is of sluggish growth, but ruin is rapid. This is history.
Hold on, Slacky. Read it from the top again, mighty man. Slacky. Let me lock in.
The Seneca Cliff or Seneca effect describes how systems like economies, civilizations, or resources grow slowly but decline rapidly. Echoing Roman philosopher Seneca saying, fortune is of sluggish growth, but ruin is rapid. And that's history. That's history. Every single empire, the Egyptian Empire, the Babylonian, the Sumerian, the Greek, the Roman Empire, you understand? Modern day America, Canada, France, which is all the same. They all had the blueprint ever since Mesopotamia. And all had a common denominator. Besides slow growth and rapid decline, they had us in captivity.
That's right.
You understand? And that's what we're seeing right now. The fact that we're in captivity again under whatever heathen, all these empires had a slow growth. They were able to enjoy, a lavish lifestyle. Listen, the Egyptian Empire was one of the greatest empires. So it was the Babylonian and the Persian. Ain't no denying that. The Chinese had us in captivity. It's not like they were never a powerful empire either. So was the East Indians. All these empires were great. Were slowly growing to the point they achieved the pinnacle of greatness.
Right.
Boom. That's why John Muhammad had to remind me of that. the reason why we have words such as romantic or romanticism is because Rome was so great that people wanted to be there. So they made it like, that's where the word romantic comes from. It comes from Rome being such a prestigious place to be at, to want to live in, which it was absolutely lasciviously disgusting. They legalized pedophilia and had us as slaves. Were they just like today? We were not considered humans. You understand? But there is a term for history repeating itself right now, how fast we're seeing America falling apart. It's called the Seneca effect, named after the Roman philosopher Seneca. You understand how the market, it took a minute for, all the profits to come in from slavery. But look how fast it's declining and the market's just crashing overnight. Listen, one press of a button, one EMP or whatever the Lord wants to happen, overnight, the market crashes. You lose all your money. You can, your credit card that you're so proud, this is your credit score of 9.9. This is not one. By slavery, I see amazing credit scores that I never seen in a black person's, Hispanic person record ever. I seen 999. I was like, well, I didn't even know the 900 existed.
Damn.
Yeah, overnight, that's gone. That's the Seneca effect. This is where we're living at. Right. And you're not ready for the decline. Why? Because you adopted your lifestyle from these oppressors that think that the empire will never come to an end. Officer, because like I brought it out earlier, and I wanted to bring out this precept, right? As in Proverbs, I think it's 18:3, I forgot, where pride cometh before destruction. Even in Obadiah, it says, this is how the oppressor describes himself. In Obadiah, that's how you know the Bible is true, in that Edom is not Japhites. Edom is not the Arabs, you fake, stupid Israelites. Edomites are modern-day Caucasians. They're who you call white people. Who is so proud that they think that the empire is going to last forever, that it'll never be brought down? The Arabs don't think that. The East Indians don't think that. The Africans don't even think that. How do you know? After rejecting the French, they ran to the Russians. This is still the white people. White people are the only one who think they're undefeatable, to the point where Donald Trump says, no, you're going to worship me. You're not going to observe Martin Luther King Day. You're not going to go free to the museum on Juneteenth. You're going to celebrate my birthday. Donald Trump is modern-day Pharaoh. Emmanuel Macron, president of France, is modern-day Pharaoh. The British Crown, who boasts, who is the biggest landowner, literally, of the face of the earth, is your modern-day Pharaoh. It took a minute for Caucasians to rise back in power and to remain in power and to enslave us. 500 years of slavery, of making profit, overnight just declining right in front of their eyes. This is what we just read, the Seneca effect, which is biblical. So, Lucky, if I could bring out the precepts, sir.
Please, go ahead, mighty man.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Woe means death and destruction. And the troll in the chat, we're about to address you in a second. Don't worry about it. Just please be patient and stay until the end. Why does it say death and destruction to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea? The sea doesn't mean literally the fishes and the whales. It's a sea of people. It's a mass, population. Death and destruction to the population. Why? For the devil, who is our oppressor, the oppressor of oppressors, the final boss of oppression, the white man, the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of, is come down unto you having great wrath. He's panicking. He doesn't know what to do. He's doing the most. Trump is saying he's going to end income taxes. Income taxes that is not only beneficial for American economy, but for a lot of us, is saving us. At the time of Passover, good night. Listen, it's that last check, that tax income, that tax return is saving a lot of us. You're catching up on bills with that tax return. Trump said he's going to cut that out. You understand? Imagine that. Emmanuel Macron, listen, every white nation is about to go to war and they're about to bring back the draft. Germany, right, who had to disband their military, for lack of better words, Slovakia, is saying, listen, we're about to bring back the circumscription. France is saying, listen, we have to fight for the motherland. That's what the president of France is saying. They're panicking. They don't know what to do anymore. Why? Because they know what? Because he knoweth that he had but a short time. History tells you this. I just showed y'all, this is the Seneca effect. The fact that it took a minute for them to be prosperous. When I say a minute, Salakia, it took years for them to be prosperous, but in a matter of seconds, in the blink of an eye, in a slap of a finger, the decline is right here before your eyes. You see that curve right here? How it took us? It took a while for that curve on the right just to reach a certain height, just to drop down. That's the Seneca effect. This is what we're seeing right now. We're about to give you the solution right here, right now, on what you should do, where to learn brotherhood, what to do, how to get prepared. You're watching all those prepping channels. This is the only prepping channel that you need to watch. This is the only prepping channel that you need to observe and to pay attention to. You understand? So, okay, if I could bring out one last precept out of one on my part.
Please go ahead, my man. Then we're gonna wrap it up with well, at least I got to go before 7 for this one. But go ahead, please.
I'll be quick. This is the book of Luke, chapter 3, verse 4. This is what you should do. As it is written in the book of the words of Esaias the prophet. Who's Esaias? That's the Greek transliteration of Isaiah. What we're about to read is in the book of Isaiah chapter 40, right? Saying, the voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord and make his path straight. This is what you need to do. This is how you're going to prepare. We're going to show you how to get ready, how to prepare yourselves, how to learn brotherhood, how to make sure that you, your family, your nation is ready for the days that are coming, the famine, the plagues, the war that is upon us. You understand? Verse 5, every valley shall be filled, and every mountain and hill shall be brought low, and the crooked shall be made straight. How do you make the crooked straight? Who is it talking about? It's talking about you, Israel. You're crooked. How? Because you stray out of the path of the Lord, which is perfect. The path of the Lord, which is a straight path. You stray out of it and walk after the heathens, which are crooked as can be. And it says that who can make straight what's crooked? Because these heathens can never follow a straight path because they don't have the blueprint, which is the laws, statutes, and commandments. They don't have the brotherhood. They don't have nothing but selfishness and lasciviousness. You have the blueprint, which is right here. And where to get that blueprint, where to learn how to understand the blueprint is in these classes, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Let me finish real quick. And the rough ways shall be made smooth. Why? Because we will be back on that perfect straight path, which is the path of the Lord, the Most High God of Israel, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Verse 6, and all flesh shall see the salvation of God. Now, I know these fake Israelites and these Christians and these Muslims and everyone who think they understand the Bible will mean that everyone shall be saved. No, that means that everyone will witness the salvation of niggas, spics, and savages. Everyone will see the nigga God sending the nigga king with 200 million nigga angels to save niggas, spics, and savages out of captivity. That's what it means. They will see and they will witness that the Bible was for Israelites, by Israelites, to Israelites. The 12 tribes, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians only, and no one else. And where to get that brotherhood to get prepared from these days that are coming in, we just told you. In the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander YAHANNA. With that said, we're going to end the class right here. So, like, any last thing you want to add before we end things? I know you gotta go.
Absolutely. The water again, Barak Yallah, for the invitation. It's an honor. It's always an honor, you understand, for me to dwell with my brothers and to do this work, you understand, for us to continue to push this truth and do this work. It's an honor, the water, for having me on, brother. The water for all the brothers that's holding it down up there in Canada and all your different zones, and the sisters that's out there with y'all in these zones. You understand? You are not, of course, you all know this, but to reiterate, you brothers and sisters out in these zones, you are not alone. You understand? You have an entire nation behind you. You are not alone. All this is a phone call away. Help is a phone call away for whatever it may be. You understand? Whatever you may need, call the I.S.U.P.K. If you're in Canada and you are Black, Hispanic, or Native American, you're not alone. You are not alone. You have a nation of people. You have a system that is put in place, a brotherhood that is put in place by our King Christ that is here for you. And you should find out what that's like. Everybody else, every other nation has a system, a government for them. Where's yours? It's right here. Come join your brotherhood. Come be a part of your system as an Israelite, the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? Big shout out to Commanding General YAHANNA for holding down this truth. Right. All the generals, all the captains, all the mighty men, you understand? And the sisters that have helped the water to all of us. Fight your demons, brothers and sisters. Fight your demons. Make sure you pay your Passover fund. $200 for every adult 17 years of age and older. The Passover will be April 4th in Houston, Texas. April 4th, Houston, Texas at the B&H Ranch. You understand? Y'all make sure you pay your Passover fund. Get your travel arrangements in order. We're going to have a good time, man. We're going to have a good time. You understand? Again, Baraki, I'll let the water to you, mighty man.
So like to water you, so it was an honor to having you and Officer Malak, you understand, for this part two, these part 2 classes we had, because we're all we got. Listen, times are coming where you're gonna understand that we're all we got, you understand, but I don't want to be too long with it, Officer, because like I might got a jet. I'm gonna get the security announcements right here, and don't forget to tune into Joe Muhammad's scripture breakdown class on ISUPK 1 West online classes live in the next 5 minutes. To water Israel, to all the brothers and sisters, Shalom Yabashashmakatam, Yahweh Shemalatam, Bashim Yahweh Shai, and get the security announcements and close the class. To water.
All right.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule from your brother and sister: when a new brother or sister comes into school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like. Upcoming holy convocation. This Sunday, we have the Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah, which is the 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days, which is this Sunday, December 14th, 2025, for 8 days. You can read more about it in the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 52 to 61. Reminder to all Akim and Aquatian to check the bulletin board in the hallway of the school if they have a physical location. And if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all blacks, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. But that's how we'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers and a courtesy salute to the sisters. In the visual Imajim, which means to stand, we'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat. So like Zagamad.
No, go ahead, mighty man.
Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat. Imajim Barak. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Brakatham, meaning Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai bless y'all. Yajamata, which means hands down. Sar, which means to turn if his assisted. If you have any in your presence, we'll give them a courtesy salute as well. Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat. Imajim Barak. Yahweh Shamar, Alatham Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, meaning Yahweh, watch over y'all in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yajamata. Class dismissed. Water again for Officer Kazak Mighty. Y'all make sure y'all tune into General Muhammad's scripture breakdown class live right now. Shalom.
All right. Shalom.
Yeah. 1 West. I'm sorry. Me need a break. I'm sorry. We work hard in a life, hustle every day and all in a night. Man a hunt for the goal and a dig it in a road and a live no life. I'm sorry, me
need a break, I'm sorry. Right now, me a seek time for myself and me a shell down some party. Be stressed, me a look for a recess. For me brain, me a refresh. This a game, me a reset. Move to that girl inna the beach dress. The body a roll, she a the neatest. She nah no man, nah that a the weakness. So me the in her ears, but not like a real pest. Nah, just a move with a vibe. Because we a pour, the mood is alive. If you do 9 to 5, I know you a get rich, you do realize. I'm sorry, me need a break, I'm sorry. Right now we a pour kulu rump on NSC with Campari. That is it. Move to that girl, let the body tick. What is it? You know see me a talk loud the politics. Watch it twist. No one see no ratchet flick, no matic click. No negative energy, a positive. One way I keep the peace and no magic trick. We a dance till in a gone. We a groove, we a vibe. I no care, no feel right off. Make it on with your life. Me say, me no want see you leave yet. Me no want see you depressed. We a party for de-stress. We work hard in a life. Hustle every day and all in a night. Man a hunt for the goal and I mash up the road and not live no life. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Be stressed. Me a look for a recess. For me brain me a refresh. This a game me a reset. Move to that girl inna the peach dress. The body a roll, she a the neatest. She nah no man, so that a the weakness. So me the inna it here, that a no real test. Nah.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K. under commanding General YAHANNA presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under commanding General YAHANNA. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.